In social media, it doesn't matter which platform it is, the algorithm, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, Facebook Reels, Facebook posts, Facebook video, all of it focuses on one thing and one thing only. You don't have to play everywhere. You can play primarily wherever your ideal customer you think is hanging out the most. If it's not getting engagement, change what you're doing. But if 87% of the brands are having effectiveness with video, you might want to get in the game. All right, my friend, welcome back to day 6 of the Small Business Week Digital Marketing Free Training Series. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about social media marketing. I don't know about you. I don't know where you are in your business, where you are in your stage of your journey, but I've got to tell you, over the 13 years, we've been helping companies grow from the search engine optimization side to Google advertising, social media marketing, email content. This particular topic seems to be the biggest struggle for most of our clients. And one of the reasons we think that is that most of our clients, small and mid-sized companies, are typically in professional services, manufacturing, B2B. They're not generally in what we would think of as social media native businesses. And so there's always some pushback. In fact, many of the founder CEOs, the executives that we work with, they actually will say things like, I hate social media. I don't even log into Facebook. I don't even like what social media stands for. And I know that that's just a generalization. And many of our clients are Gen Xers or baby boomers. But yet we've got to remember that social media is a platform as a ecosystem, whether it doesn't matter what platform or what product we're talking about, but as an ecosystem, the number one thing we must pay attention to as we start today's conversation is that social media has our consumers' attention. And in a few moments, I'm going to give you some statistics to chew on that I'd like to start our conversation with today before we get into what I'd like to share with you today, which very simply are the 3 most effective types of posts or content that you can ever place on a social media platform, whether it's YouTube, whether it's LinkedIn, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, Threads, TikTok, no matter what it is. In general, what I'm going to share with you today fall into 3 categories. Now, I'm not suggesting you need to use all 3, but I am going to suggest that in most cases, most businesses should be using 2 of the 3 so that they can have a mix of content and relevance on those platforms. But before we get into that, I want to do my best if you're not convinced. And let me be clear. Let me back up. I started on LinkedIn in 2006. I started my first YouTube channel in 2007. I got onto Twitter, which is now X, in 2008. I started on Facebook in 2009, and I was a little late to the game. I'm actually still a little late to the game on TikTok, but I have been essentially involved in social media even before we started this agency. I started realizing in the mid 2000s how our attention was moving away from television, radio, billboards, and not just a community aspect offline to online, but just the way we had access to information. It wasn't just information about products and services. It was access to people all around the world. I mean, let's fast forward to my podcast, which is now coming up on its 5th year. I have now interviewed people all over the world on the MindShift podcast that it's unlikely I would have met them any other way if not through the internet and or social media. So let's jump in, and I want to cover the first statistic, and that is right now there are 4.6 billion users on social media worldwide. 4.6 billion. I mean, what's the population of the planet, right? So the large majority of people are using social media. If you look at the statistics from Bain and Company, they say that consumers who interact with brands on social media are likely to spend 20 to 40% more with that brand. So does it pay to work to get the attention of your ideal customers, even if they're not ready to buy today? Well, Bain and Company says so. Bain and Company is one of the largest consulting firms. 74% of consumers are using the social media platforms to research brands and get familiar with their products and services. Maybe it's not the first touch, maybe it's the second touch, maybe they saw your Google ad, maybe they saw you in SEO, but they're going to come check you out on social media. And if you're not there, you're leaving a lot on the table. I love this one. There are 2.91 billion with a B users on Facebook logging in daily. Daily, they're logging in. And so many people think Facebook is dead because TikTok and everybody thinks YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. No, it's still Facebook. Facebook's still the king. But here's the one I want you to get. The average person on Facebook stays there for 58 minutes a day. 58 minutes a day. Now, what you might be saying is like, I don't use Facebook like that, so my customer's not there. But let me share with you something. I have been doing this now online, especially with social media, for, like I said, since 2006, but more so in terms of advertising and marketing and growing companies' businesses since 2012. Since 2012 is when we really added social media services to our company. And the interesting thing about it is, here's what I hear. Oh, my customer, they're a certain type of customer. They're not going to be on Facebook. Oh, my customer, they're an affluent customer. They're not using Facebook or Instagram, or they're not using social media. They might be on LinkedIn, but they're definitely not. I've heard it all, and it's all BS. I can prove it with the data. And if you stick around long enough and hang out with us and go deeper with us, we'll share that with you. 87% of brands are having the most effective reach and engagement and conversion with video on social media. And that throws a lot of people for a loop. They're like, oh, I don't want to do video. I don't want to be in front of a camera. I mean, and you can continue to say that if you'd like to. But if 87% of the brands are having effectiveness with video, you might want to get in the game. And we can't talk about video without talking about our friends at YouTube, because they are the second largest search engine. So when we jump back to earlier in the week, earlier in this series, when we talk about SEO, you're missing a great opportunity for what we call YouTube SEO or video SEO, because people go to YouTube to search. In fact, 81% of consumers, according to the statistics that we pulled, are using YouTube not just for entertainment, not just to watch cat videos, not just to watch Mr. Beast. They're going there to research products, services, problems, solutions, and you have an opportunity to show up there. Let me give you a caveat. I pull these statistics from the internet. You can pull them, and they may say something different when you pull them. All I know is the people that spend the money to gather this research, they're not tied to the organization, so there's no real reason. Bain and Company has no reason to tell you their statistics. They're telling us at large how we need to be moving in a modern marketing world. How are consumers moving? How is our attention flowing? And if we want to do what big brands are doing on TV, radio, billboard, old school media channels, we need to tap into social media. Number one, it's free. It never costs you a dime to set up a business account on any of the platforms. And by the way, I'm not leaving out Pinterest, and I'm not leaving out all the other brands, but specifically, it costs us nothing to set it up. The only thing that it requires is your time and energy and attention and focus on creating content that would be ideal for your ideal customer, buyer persona, avatar, ideal client profile, whatever you want to call it. And that is where the work comes in. And that's where a lot of people get all upset. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, because it is one that I think is very important and very real. And I think it's a realistic objection to social media. And people say to me, Darrell, well, how do we grow a following on social media? I heard that organic reach is down on all these platforms, right? And if you're new to the game, I'm going to assume you're not new to the game. You should know this by now. Over the years, obviously, Facebook went public in 2012, 2013, somewhere in that neighborhood. And from then on, organic reach of reaching your fans, followers, and others started going down. Everybody knows that Instagram now is a part of the Facebook and the Meta community, and reach has gone down there. Twitter's changed their algorithm, LinkedIn's changed their algorithm. The reality is, all of these platforms continually move the needle on the algorithm. But I will share with you this. If there was one word you should write down for this particular day and this particular lesson, and this will guide everything you do going forward. And I'm going to get to the three types of content that you should be creating anytime you ever publish on social media for your business. I'm not talking about your personal account, I'm talking about for your business. But here's the word you should write down. And that word is engagement. In social media, it doesn't matter which platform it is, the algorithm, LinkedIn, Twitter, X, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, Facebook Reels, Facebook posts, Facebook video, all of it focuses on one thing and one thing only. And that is whether or not your content engages with the people who see it, or whether the people who see it engage with your content. What does engagement mean? Well, it could mean they hit the like button. It could mean they hit the share button. It could mean that they hit a and comment down below. It could mean that they forward the message through instant messenger or the DMs. It could mean that if you've posted a video, they watch 1 minute of your video. It's engagement is a signal. And by the way, engagement also matters in SEO because there are engagement signals. If you go back to our talk on SEO, engagement is also what Google's looking for. Here's why. These algorithms, it's not like there's a bunch of people monitoring the billions of posts that go on these platforms per day. They are looking at signals. Those signals are the behavioral actions that a consumer gives your content. And when they look at your content against someone else's content, when there's only a certain amount of space in the news feed for everyone's content to show up, the winner is the one who gets the most engagement, right? Now, there's a difference between engagement and going viral. Many of you have no business going viral. It shouldn't be a goal. It shouldn't be part of your plan, because here's what people don't understand about virality is when you have a post that goes viral, the algorithm, the reason it goes viral is because the topic is super broad and super general. And that means it's going to reach a much broader audience. And the broader that audience is, the further away from your buyer avatar, your consumer, your buyer persona it is. It may sound a little counterintuitive. Well, Darrell, if I have a post that gets 1 million views, won't my account grow? Well, let me tell you something in my experience. I've had the fortune to have a few posts go viral over the years. Again, I don't attempt to do that. And quite honestly, I'm surprised at some of the posts that actually would, in my account, would be considered going viral. In my account, something getting 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 views is viral. I mean, that isn't, I had one post that got, I don't know, just short of 1 million views, 900. Now, that's not as many as people that are getting tens of millions of views. But in my account, that's viral, right? But the thing is, the further viral those posts went, the further away from my buyer persona or my target audience the post went. That's just how the algorithm goes. So the goal is to think about how you're going to get people to engage. And you need the right people to engage, not the wrong people to engage. And if we back up to the conversation around the power of paid advertising, and we talked about how social media advertising fits in, which I'm not going to go into social media advertising today. I think we did a decent job with that in day 4, and I gave you some extra resources there. The bottom line is your social media content must do the same thing. So let's finish up today's talk and do a couple of things. What should you be posting? Well, first of all, I'm going to get the easiest one first. I'm going to get the hardest one out of the way, because most of you are not going to be interested in doing this because it isn't going to serve your business, right? We're in business. We're here to make money. We're not here to go viral. And listen, if you're watching this and you're a content creator and you want that to be your business model, then maybe this is going to work for you. But the reality is most of us are professional service business. We're selling products. We're selling services. We're selling manufacturing. We're selling appointments. We're selling real commerce. We're not just selling, oh, we're going to be in the business to create content. But one of the first types of content that you can create, and there's only 3, here's the first one. You can create stuff that's entertaining. Okay. So if you are in a business where entertaining content makes sense, then this is content type number 1. But I don't think that's the majority. In my experience, the people who are part of this training, the people who come in my world, this isn't the training. This isn't the content that you're going to want to create. This, however, content type number two is where you need to spend the majority of your time. All right. Educational content. Educational content. If we think back to the study that said 74% of people, consumers, use social media to learn about brands, to learn about products, to learn about services, well, then guess what? Your job is to educate them, right? It's not just about selling them on the platform. If you're an e-commerce company, sure, you're going to be promoting your products, but I dare you to go look at Instagram for an example. Right when you're done with this video, go look at the Instagram account for McDonald's. Go look at the Instagram account for Nike. Go look at the Instagram account for Adidas. Go look at the Instagram account for Apple. Here's what you'll find that they're not promoting their products on their social media. They're promoting themes, missions, things that are inspiring. You're not going to, most of us do this wrong because all we're doing is talking about our product, talking about our service. But when we do educational content, we want people to know that we're the experts at what we do, which is one part of the three-part content structure. But I will tell you that if you want to really blow up your account, if you want to really get people that are engaged and follow what you're saying, this is the piece right here. You want to post empowering content. Empowering content. What do we mean by that? You want to be uplifting. You want people to want to be a part of your account. If you post, let me say you sell cars. Let me say you're in the car. It doesn't matter what business you're in, but if you're a lawyer, posting about the law every day is not going to be that engaging. If you're a LASIK doctor, we talked about earlier in the series, you're not going to get that much engagement if all you're doing is talking about LASIK surgery. If you sell cars and all you do is post cars on your feed, you're not, and tell people to buy, you're not going to get that much engagement. So what I've learned over the years, and this works for every brand, is that you can find different ways to post empowering messages. What are we talking about? Motivational quotes. You can do little inspirational pieces. You can share content from other pages that are inspiring, that are motivational. You can share ideas about books that you're reading, lessons that you're learning. You can share seminars that you're training. You can share quick tips. You can share ideas. There are so many ways to bundle empowering content. And I have found that it is one of the most effective ways to bring your page, your account up, to get more engagement, to get more people following you, and also to refer you to more people because you're not always showing up in the news feed with something for sale. Social media is not, organically speaking, social media is harder than it ever has been because we are playing on other people's platforms. We don't own Twitter. We don't own Instagram. Sorry, X. I keep saying it. It'll usually get out just like we talk about Facebook and Instagram, which is now Meta. We don't own these platforms. We don't own YouTube. They all have a business model, and we are playing inside of their business model. So it is frustrating. It is challenging, and it is almost like shooting darts into a barrel of darkness, and we don't necessarily know. But I will tell you that in my 10, 12 years now doing social media with our clients and myself, and let me be clear, I'm not the biggest fan of organic content. Let me just say that for a fact. I've said in my earlier training, I'm a big fan of paid advertising. I'm a big fan because I can get right to who I want to reach today with $1 or two or 10 or 100 or 10,000, whatever it may be. I do believe that organic social media content, though, elevates your brand over time, whether it gets a lot of reach or engagement or not. So there should be some sort of social media cadence in your business. So today, I wanted to give you some statistics and get you to really think about what is your game right now in social media? How are you showing up in social media? Are you creating content that's either educational, entertaining, or empowering? Where are you playing? Right? Let me leave this with you. You don't have to play everywhere. You can play primarily wherever your ideal customer you think is hanging out the most. Right? Just don't be so one-sided to think that your customer is not on a platform like Facebook. I have a I have a multiple $1 million company that's been in business 40 years, and they're going after a very specific target audience. And we find that person on Facebook all the time. You know why? They just do things differently there than maybe the younger kids. So let's be open to the fact that social media and those statistics earlier, the people that put those statistics together, they spend way more money than me trying to get that data. So we've got to understand the world has changed. The buyer's journey has changed. You've heard us talk about this. The reality is, empowering, educational, entertaining content is what needs to show up there. And the only thing you should really focus on is engagement. If you're posting, look in your news feeds, look in the last 3 months, look in the last 6 months. If you're not getting engagement on your posts, it's likely because you're not posting one of those three types of content consistently. You might be over leveraging in one of them. And we need to think about what's going to be engaging on the platform. And to go back to a statistic that we put up earlier today, if you look across the platform, you can tell that it's video. And I know that intimidates a whole bunch of you, but I got to tell you, if you stick around after this series is over, we're going to continue. And I'm going to give you a very specific content bonus series on how to create video content that is so easy to create. It'll feel like it's not even work. You don't have to worry about remembering anything. You don't have to worry about jump cuts. You don't have to worry about fancy edits. You can do it all right off of your phone, and you will get engagement. You will get engagement. You will get reach. You will get likes. You will get comments. You'll get shares. And most importantly, you will build an audience that you can then retarget with your social media advertising. So today in day 6, we want to talk about social media. I didn't want to get into types of posts and things like that. I mean, all of that is left to your brand, to your business. It's too broad of a topic to just kind of categorize exactly what you should post. But I do know for a fact those 3 categories matter: educational, empowering, and entertaining content, if that fits your brand. And more importantly than not, you must focus on what is getting engagement. If it's not getting engagement, change what you're doing. Because if you get that done, the whole world opens up and you will grow your brand. You'll get your brand awareness. You'll have more people opting in. You'll have more people spending more money, as one of those statistics said, and you'll start seeing the benefit of social media marketing in your business. Hit the subscribe button so you can become a part of the MindShift community. We'll help you shift your mind so you can shift your results.